indeed. At least, that is the story as it's been handed down in Haven. But there is an epilogue to the tale. One known only to Lady Shula and myself. Some years after Issei's passing, you see, my grandmother came here to tend the grave, and found a stranger kneeling before it. A knight, dressed head to toe in plate. She asked of him who he was and whence he had come, but received no answer. The only words he spoke were, "Tell me true, whose grave is this?" So she told him of how her people had met and cared for Issei, and how she had died. His only reaction was to stare up at the air of hours in silence. Then he left, never to be seen again.
You said he was wearing plate. Was it black and gold?
Do you know something of him?
When we went up to the Air of Hours to unravel the spell, we were set upon by a shade in the shape of a knight in full plate. It manifested in front of the Fair, and in its ether, I felt Shiva, the witch.
You think this may have been the same man my great-grandmother met? Issei's knight?
I don't know. Maybe. All I can say for sure is it was intent on protecting her creation.
Or perhaps her spirit. What remained of her ether, preserved in the Fair. Perhaps his spirit too became enraveled in her spell, frozen in an eternal vigil.
Till we ended it.
If the shade you fought was Issei's knight, then ending it was the greatest gift you could have given him. Now he can return to the sea, to be with his lady once more. And if his spirit should ever return here to visit her grave, I shall ask his name, that I might carve it in the stone next to hers.
That they might be together. Once and for all.
Thank you, my lord, for reuniting them. Has to be him.
What has to be who? If you, don't mind my asking.
It's not your asking, I mind. It's my explaining. But I don't see any other way around it. You see, when a baby is born here, we hold a ceremony to welcome them. The rite of immersion, we call it. But but I don't know whether Walyus was ever afforded that courtesy. What is abundantly clear, though, is that my ancestors never welcomed him as one of us. And I want to change that. The problem is, the ceremony requires 3 ministrators, the baby's parents and a witness. As tributary, the role of witness would normally fall to me, but being Walyus's closest living relative, I must play the role of mother.
So you want me to serve as witness in your stead?
That's right. A witness must be a trusty guardian, ready to steer the child through the stormy waters of life and on to tranquility. Which is why I thought of you.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, Clive.
So, if you will serve as mother and I as witness, who will take on the father's role?
I have a younger brother. He should be making ready for the rite as we speak, though whether he is or not. Let me introduce you.
Please do. If he's anything like his sister, I'm sure we'll get on famously.
I'll bid him come to the Witten Hall. Will you wait for us there?
Gladly.
It is good to have them back. But how do we run them?
Reckon my steel's just as good as any.
Clive, my brother.
If it isn't my old mate Sid!
You?
So you do remember me, even stripped of my cunning disguise? I'm touched.
You two know each other.
My friends and I crossed paths with your brother on our hunt for the dusk crystals, during which we saved his life. 3 times, was it?
3, 4, who's counting? All I know is when Shula mentioned she'd called in Sid the Outlaw to help young Walyas, I could be sure that the little rascal was in safe hands. I mean, having seen you in action back at the tower, I know exactly what you're capable of.
So the mercenary you met in the Sage Spire, that was Clive. And he saved your life. That's a rather different story from the one you told me. And a far likelier one at that. It would appear my family owe you twice over. Whether they admit it or not. Honestly, Fammy, would it kill you to tell the truth once in a while?
What? I said sorry, didn't I? How about we save the, recriminations until after the ceremony, eh?
Speaking of which, what does this ceremony involve exactly?
It's simple, really. We each say a short prayer and anoint the child's head with holy water.
Nothing too onerous, then?
Not about the rite itself, no. But it does call for some preparation. One of the witness's responsibilities is to collect the holy water, you see. 3 phials for the 3 ministrators, each taken from a particular place. Don't worry, though. It's not as if you have to go alone. I can show you the way.
I'd appreciate that.
Famiel, you stay here and ready the Witten Hall.
Leave it to me.
If there's anything Jill and I can do to assist you.
We'd be glad to help.
Thank you both. All right then, let's get started, shall we? There are 3 types of holy water that we must collect. The water of the mountain, of the river, and of the sea. We take the water of the mountain from the spring atop Maiden's March. The water of the river from the course that flows through the ruins of Riversmeet. And the water of the sea from the shallows of Tailwind Bay. Here are the phials we'll be using in the ceremony. I'm ready to leave whenever you are. We can collect the water of the river from here.
All right.
The water of the river represents life. It is constantly moving, constantly changing. And though its course may twist and turn or branch into 1,000 separate streams, it always flows in the same direction, from source to sea, beginning to end.
Like time. What of Wallius, then? When your ancestors froze him, did they remove him from the River of Life?
They did. Like an ice-bound pool that didn't thaw for 80 summers. But now he's free to flow again, to live. And you and I shall flow with him, for we are all but drops of water in the great river of life.
I find that thought oddly reassuring.
Go on.
A drop of water might seem insignificant on its own, but as a part of a torrent, it can cleave a path through the hardest rock. It makes me believe we humans might just stand a chance.
I believe we might. Take care not to spill it.
back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Come on.
Help! Help? What help? Nobody's coming to... Help?
We're here to help.
Keep its attention on us.
Is anyone hurt?
Oh, Sid! Thank all the clouds in the heavens you came. You saved us. Again!
Would you two care to explain what you're doing up here?
The chief sent us to fetch incense for the ceremony. So the Witten Hall smells nice. For the little Ben.
You mean to tell me you braved this den of deadly beasts for some tree sap?
You don't have to do everything he says, you know.
Or if you must, at least have the good sense to ask one of our hunters to accompany you.
We're sorry.
It's fine. Just go back to the village before you get yourselves into any more trouble.
Right, you are. Oh, and thanks and that.
Remind me to give my brother a cuff round the ear when we get back. Right then. Let's collect this water, shall we? The rain that falls on the mountain emerges here, in these springs.
The source of the river. The source of life.
Precisely. Just one more file to go then.
Nearly done.
Let's go. Run like the wind.
This path leads down to the coast. Usually we keep this gate shut tight, but since this is a special occasion... Thank the tides the weather held. This place can be treacherous when the waves are high. If it weren't for the holy water, no one would ever come down here.
I'll be sure to watch my step.
Water flows to the sea, then rises into the clouds. Just like life, the end is not the end, only a new beginning. My ancestors chose this place because it was where the first boat landed.
And it's a good thing they didn't land closer to the surge.
Quite.
The water of the sea. I still can't help but be awed by it.
Oh? All that wave ever made me feel was pity and sorrow for the innocent life trapped inside it. The child my great-grandfather sacrificed to try to change his people's fate. It was wrong, an unforgivable sin. But I often wonder, will my descendants ever forgive me for what I have done? As tributary, I've faced many difficult choices. And though I've always striven to do what's best for my people, here we live in poverty, hidden away from the world. So have my choices denied them a better life just as my ancestors denied Walyas his.
No. You would not forcibly sacrifice one of your people to save the others. You do the best you can for all of them, as do I. We share in their woes, just as we share in their joys. And the most we can do is try to bring them more of the latter.
Aye, you're right. And try I shall, to bring all of my people a better tomorrow. Walyas included.
Then I wish you luck. If my time with the boy is any indication, he's going to be quite a handful.
Then we must start as we mean to go on, and give him the very best welcome we can.
Where to next, then?
Back to the village, to find out if my brother has made the necessary preparations. Or got his lackey.
We have the holy water. Is everything else in place?
All ready to go. Told you could count on me.
Then let us begin. Famiel, have your men summon everyone to the Witten Hall.
Right you are.
Shula, wait. I don't know the words.
Don't worry. There aren't many of them. We'll have time enough to practice before people arrive. My friends, we are gathered here today to welcome this child into our community by the rite of immersion, as has been our custom since the first reign. As tributary, I would normally perform the rite with the child's parents, but Walyas's mother and father returned to the sea long ago. So I and my brother Famiel shall serve as his family, while the one who returned him to us shall bear witness in my stead. Clive, if you would step forward.
Like the rain that falls on the mountains tall, are we born.
Like the river that flows through the valleys below, do we live.
Like the boundless sea, where the currents run free, do we die, and to the clouds then rise again.
The circle of water is the circle of life, and today from the heavens falls rain anew. This child, Walyas, now joins our stream, and he shall flow with us from the mountains to the sea. You played your part to a T, Clive. Thank you. It means a lot to us.
I was honored to be asked. And terrified I'd miss.
Now that you're part of the family, young Walyas, my lad. Uncle Samuel can teach you the ways of the world.
Oh, no, he can't.
Eh?
Don't be so hasty. Your brother's knack for self-preservation might serve him well.
Ha! You are never going to let me live that down, are you?
I'm gonna raise Walyas as if he were my own. Teach him everything I know about life, our people, and our past. But with all the mother crystals gone, he will grow up in a world without comforts. One where we only have ourselves and each other to rely on.
I'd say your people are better prepared than most to survive in such a world, Shula. To thrive, indeed, under your guidance.
Only if nature continues to smile on us. If we were to lose her gifts, we'd be left with nothing at all.
Yes. But it needn't come to that. Not if we can stop the spread of the Blight. So long as we can save a single patch of soil, we can plant the seeds for a new world. One where we can all be free.
Perhaps then we might finally be able to step out from behind our curtain, eh? Till that day comes, I wish you good tide.
Thank you. We should be on our way.
Well, you be careful out there.
Aye, you steer clear of trouble now.
Likewise.
To think, we must be the first outsiders to have witnessed that rite in over a century.
Walyas has been waiting for it for nearly as long. He seemed pleased to be finally rejoining the family.
Now all we have to do is save that family. To change our river's course.
Yes? Reckon my steel's just as good as any. There.
You don't
and Shula's thinking of dispelling the...
Everything's back the way it was. I don't know how they did.
People take notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
I'm glad Conrad and Natalie have put their differences aside. But if they're going to spend all day here conferring, is it too much to ask that they order more than a single drink?
The Town Watch and the Merchants Guild have remained united in the defense of Dalamil thus far. But we cannot be blind to the fact that having two leaderships is a recipe for division.
What we need is a mayor. One who can steer the whole town true. And I can think of none better for the role than young Lubor.
Welcome. If you're hoping for a bed, I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. One of our wealthier patrons has purchased the use of every room open to...
My reputation will be ruined! Ruined!
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac, I beg of you, before you do yourself a mischief.
Pardon the intrusion, but...
Out! Get out! I paid for these rooms so I wouldn't be disturbed. Leave me be!
Please, allow me to apologize. His lordship is going through a difficult time, and he's never been fond of guests arriving unannounced.
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf this instant!
Very good, Lord Ignac. Would you mind stepping outside for a moment?
I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
That? Oh, no. That's just how his lordship is. Though the morning's events have left him somewhat fractious. He has been dispossessed of his luggage, you see. The thieves also made away with a considerable amount of coin. Coin the innkeeper will soon be keen to collect.
I don't suppose a certain blade was among the stolen items. A single-edged sword. It was purchased from a merchant friend of mine.
Ah, you know Lady Karen. Yes, I'm afraid it was.
Then I'll retrieve Lord Ignac's luggage. But I have one condition.
You have but to state it. You are welcome to anything that is within my power to grant.
I want an audience with Lord Ignac. A few minutes should be enough. Then I'll be on my way.
A condition I would be a fool to refuse. Of course, you shall have your audience.
I don't suppose you saw where the thieves went?
I did not, no. Though some discreet inquiries made on his lordship's behalf mean that I know where you might find them. The bandit's bed. Every ill-gotten coin in Dalamil is said to pass through that disreputable corner of the Valcroy.
And that's where I'm heading.
I shall speak to Lord Ignac in your absence, and arrange for an audience upon your triumphant return.
That will be very kind of you.
Farewell, and best of luck.
Let's go.
Faster!
Fly, Ambrosia. Let's go. Run like the wind.
We've got company! Come on, lads, let's tear the bastard's head off!
This must be Ignac's luggage. Nothing seems to be damaged. All right. Let's get it back to Dalamil.
I hear I have you to thank for the return of my effects. What shall I call you, my good man?
Wyvern. Glad to make your acquaintance.
A formidable name indeed. Well, Wyvern, I appear to be in your debt. Redeem here tells me you wished for an audience. Is that all?
A few moments of your time should suffice, yes.
You're a peculiar fellow, Wyvern. All right, speak.
Master Wyvern was wondering if you could tell him about a certain single-edged sword you recently acquired.
Oh, a true work of art, that one. Karen drove me hard on the price, but I would have sold her Radim here to get my hands on that sword. It was made in the Outer Isles, far beyond the Twins, and is used exclusively by the practitioners of a unique school of swordsmanship. They believe no combat should ever exceed a single strike, and hone their blades to such perfection that none ever does. Each sword is made for that one perfect stroke, and for that stroke only. They crack upon a second blow. There's a brutal sort of beauty to it, really.
But how do they hone such an edge?
Fine question. Why, they use a whetstone, of course. Whetstones, rather. A whole array of them, ranging from the coarse to the fine. 10,000 licks with the sharpening stone, then 10,000 more. But it is the final stone which lends the blade its legendary sharpness. A mineral quite foreign to this great realm of ours. And that is the key. The secret ingredient. Wyvern, it occurs to me that my little lecture is hardly equal to services rendered. Take this, together with my regards. The very stone of which I spoke, far rarer among collectors than even the blade itself, and a far more fitting payment.
Thank you.
Pardon the intrusion, my lordship. However, it is long past time we prepared ourselves to depart.
So it is. I am locked in bitter competition with a rival collector of curiosities. I am one step ahead of the unscrupulous scoundrel, but he is hard at my heels.
Are there many other collectors out there?
Too many to count, but only one do I consider my nemesis. Lord Byron Rosfield, and is a perennial thorn in my side.
I can imagine.
Farewell, Wyvern. May our paths cross again. Radim, we mustn't dawdle.
I think his lordship is rather taken with you, Master Wyvern. Thank you again for your assistance. Coming, my lordship. I'll be right there.
Trust Uncle Byron to find such an interesting rival. Now, let's see what Blackthorn makes of this whetstone, shall we? Sorry for the wait, but hopefully you'll agree it was worth it.
You learned something about that sword, then?
I did better than that.
A whetstone?
Yes, but not one you'll find anywhere in Valisthea.
No wonder I couldn't get the same finish on the grinding wheel. One hit and all done, eh? Might not be so bad if all you ever fought were duels. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent would be your last, no matter how good you were.
Even so, is there some way it could be used to give the curse breakers an edge?
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could probably even make a twin of the blade that rattled me. but there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that. Swords that the curse breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them through a single fire piece. Nah, no point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax anvil. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine, now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Or more hard-wearing, for that matter. Just imagine it. Good Valisthian steel with an edge as sharp as any found in the Outer Isles. I won't make a copy, nah. I'll make something much better.
I'm sure the curse breakers will be delighted. Just don't push yourself too hard.
Don't you worry about me, Sunshine. I've been working day and night since I was half your age, and I'll still be here when you're long gone. Hey, thanks, Clive. I mean it. I owe you one, August too. It's good to know someone's looking out for me.
He'll be happy to hear you said that.
And I'll see that my debt to you's paid. First new blade I make's got your name on it. You come and find me when you've got the materials.
All right. I will.
What do you want? Anything else?
What is this?
Muthos. You plumbed the very abyss, yet still you hunger. We are impressed.
Is that so?
Oh, no. Not again.
Is ours, and now it is yours. Consider it a gift from us to you, a taste of things to come.
You still think I'm going to be your vessel? I'll take your gift then, Ultima. Just don't expect it back.